Hi, my name is Brandon. I'm from Los Angeles in the United States, and I wanted to talk about my experience here at Nimeakaya. I, I guess I had the calling to experience and explore ayahuasca, this plant medicine that we've been working with years ago. And it started as something very subtle and very quiet. And I think as the years went by, particularly as the pandemic unfolded, um, life happened, of course, and that calling started to grow louder and louder. And so I, like most people, did a lot of research, and I kind of just kept it in a pocket of my mind for a while until not even that long ago, maybe a month, 2 months. I think that calling became really loud, and I knew that I wanted to take action and actually seek this. So I stumbled upon Nimeakaya just reading through forums, and I'm really glad I did. The main reason that I chose to come here above all places is because every review that I had read, the main highlight from them was the staff, the people that are here supporting you. And they were right on. They were spot on. It is such a vulnerable state to be in. There's a ton of work that goes into it, into sitting in each ceremony, and it's a wild experience, and it's so much more comforting and so much more you just have so much support from very kind, generous people, and I had an amazing experience. If you do decide to come here, there's a lot of surrender that goes into it. There's a lot of discomfort that goes into it. But I will say that just sitting on the mat, waiting for the medicine to kind of kick in, I think pretty much every ceremony I would just sit there thinking that everyone sitting next to me, we're all here because ultimately we just want to be a bit of a brighter light in our own lives and the lives of the people around us. And so we were just all sitting there with this very intense anticipation. And then, of course, everyone's journey from there is very unique. So the last thing that I'll say is just a couple of really big key takeaways that I got from the ceremonies here. Things that really, I think, are going to greatly impact my life going forward. The first is this theme of trust. When you come here, it's made very clear that in order to go through this experience, go through this journey, that it's imperative that you trust the medicine. So you relinquish the control, you relinquish this busy mind, and as they tell us often, to drop into this space here in your heart. And that is definitely not easy to do. Where I'm from especially, it's a busy world, it's a loud world, it's one that's very preoccupied with things. And so it's not easy to just trust that this process is going to unfold as it needs to. But that is exactly what happens, and the sooner that I learned that, the sooner things I realized were actually much more gentle than I thought they would be. I was concerned about this idea of purging, as I'm sure you might be. And it will surprise you, I think, that even though from where you might be right now, it does sound very scary, being in that process, and especially when you can trust that process, it really relieves a lot of tension, and it surprises you how gentle it really can be and how opening it really can be. So this idea of trust was very important. Trust in the medicine, trust in myself, to not doubt myself so much, to not doubt this process that we're all in so much. That was key. And then the second takeaway, I think, was in my most recent ceremony. This idea of forgiveness was really big for me. Ideas of forgiveness for people that I feel have broken my trust, and also, which was kind of a hard lesson, is forgiveness for myself for breaking others' trust. And in ceremony, in this state, with this medicine, those are things that you can't run away from. And that's why this is a lot of work, is because you're confronted with those things. But it's beautiful. For me, it was a very, very beautiful process of forgiveness for all kinds of people in my life, and forgiveness of myself for the things that I didn't even realize that I still had a lot of guilt around. So those were just two things that were really impactful for me. And if you do decide to come here, I'm sure it's a calling that you've started to hear in your own mind, in your own heart. And if you do, I can't recommend this particular place enough. I'm deeply going to miss the jungle, this setting, all of the people that I met in ceremony, and all of the people, like I mentioned, that are here supporting you in your ceremonies. And it's a life-changing experience that I think if you're being called to do some kind of work to be a brighter light in your life, you most certainly won't regret it.